Greetings to all my listeners, old and new. My name is Dr. Hillel Mazansky, specializing in medical hypnosis, guided imagery, nutrition, and exercise. The mind causes all one's physical and psychological ailments. If the mind causes, which it does, the mind helps heal or treat through the use of medical hypnosis, guided imagery or visualization, nutrition, and exercise. Before I begin today's health tip, I would like to relate something to you. When I see patients in La Jolla, California, I see them once and once only, and they bring in a cell phone or other recording device and record the message, the hypnosis session. I do not see them again because it's not necessary. However, what I do with them is that they call me once every week for 15 minutes only, as time is of the essence, and we discuss anything that has transpired during that week or relative to the hypnosis session and how they are improving, etc. I realized that by all those videos, sessions that I have on drmedicalhypnosis.com, these are purchased by individuals, often from the entire United States and even from overseas. How do I not reach them? So starting from today, everybody who does purchase the video, they will receive a complimentary 15-minute consultation with me on an ongoing basis until you, the purchaser, the listener, has said to me, Dr. Mazansky, I'm healed, and that is sufficient. There is no extra cost for doing that, but this is just something, as an empathetic physician, I would like to do for all and sundry who purchase the videos. Today's topic is all about infertility, both male and females. In a previous life, I've mentioned this a few times, I practiced a great deal of obstetrics and gynecology, or OBGYN as it's known in the United States. So now I'm well versed in the whole process of infertility. And this is the main subject that we're going to discuss today: male and female infertility, how infertile couples become empowered to assist themselves and become successful through the use of hypnosis and guided visualization. When a couple gets married, generally speaking, the norm is to expect to have children at some stage in their lives. Sometimes the time is not exactly auspicious to have it within a year or two, but they have in their minds to have children. What we do know is the older a couple is when they first try to become pregnant, the greater the chance is that they will not succeed. The maximum period of time of fertility is between the ages of 18 and 22. Well, not everybody gets married at that young age, and it doesn't mean to say that they won't become pregnant later, but I'm just using that as a yardstick. Now, especially those who are affluent, they go through so many tests and examinations, invasive tests, IVF, in vitro fertilization, which costs in California nearly $20,000 per time, and I'm sure in New York and Los Angeles and other large cities it's equally, if not more, expensive. And oftentimes they don't become pregnant the first shot. Now, all this time there is stress building up between the couple, especially the females, who are more given to develop stress than their male counterparts. Not that the husband or male partner doesn't get stressed, but not to the extent. Stress has a negative effect on trying to get pregnant, or fall pregnant as they say overseas. So the hypnosis video can be used during that time to reduce their stress. I show the couple how they can increase their hormone secretion, both male and female. The hormone secretions beginning the hormones in the brain, which then stimulate the ovaries and the testicles and the adrenal glands, etc., to increase their hormone production. And I take them through the whole process from the beginning of intercourse to and making love. They visualize how the sperm from the male swims up to the cervix and the uterus, and how the female's egg gets secreted by the ovum or the ovary, and the egg is called the ovum, and how that travels down the tubes and becomes implanted. All this enhances their chances of getting pregnant, because during a hypnosis session, people are extremely relaxed. And when they're relaxed, they can better cope with the situation. Also, when they go for the IVF, the IVF, for the fertilization, in vitro fertilization called IVF, the females also tend to be a little bit tense and anxious, because it is an anxiety-provoking event, and they're busy thinking about, oh, please God, let me get pregnant, let this be the one, etc. And that's all stress. So they take the video on their handheld device, and they start listening before the session, and while the doctor is performing the in vitro fertilization, they listen to the hypnosis session, thus becoming very relaxed and attuned to what is developing. In the same way, the man, he also becomes relaxed and concentrates on how he sends out his material, his hormones, to the testicles to increase sperm production, and how he visualizes the sperm emitting from his penis at the time of ejaculation, and how he sees his sperm climbing up into his wife's cervix and uterus. Folks, I promise you, this is not mumbo jumbo. For if it were, I wouldn't be discussing it. And if it were, I wouldn't have gone to the expense of having those videos placed on my website, drmedicalhypnosis.com. You might not be infertile. I hope you don't. But if you have any friends or loved ones who are infertile or are struggling to have children, and maybe they cannot afford to go through all this expensive testing, and in vitro fertilization is not covered by any health insurance, they have to pay for this out of their own pockets. If you or a loved one should suffer from infertility, you grant them the chance to become pregnant by referring them to my website, and by default, I also assist them. Male and female infertility can oftentimes be treated by the mind. How often have I and any other gynecologist or OBGYN will tell you that they've had females that they found absolutely nothing wrong with them and said you should be able to get pregnant, but because of stress, chronic underlying stress, they weren't able to. So what happens? Eventually, when they go through the whole process of adoption, they adopt the child, and lo and behold, within 6 months to a year or two, the female becomes pregnant. Now, what do you think? Nothing changed in her body. She only became older. But because she has a child to love and take care of and feel the tenderness, etc., she has released her stress. And once the stress is released, they feel calm, cool, and they get pregnant. I have seen this more than one time, and gynecologists and obstetricians will relate to you the same subject, about the same happening. My name is Dr. Hillel Mazansky, and I thank you for listening to this health tip.